I think that a lot of marginalized voices have been muted in traditional publishing. And a lot of us, especially women of color, trans authors, we're saying if you won't give us a seat at your table, then we'll make our own. And that's what self-publishing has done for a lot of us.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Book Festival. Our moderator, I believe, might have been kicked off, Tricia, so I'm just going to step in here. I'm with Charleston County Public Library. My name is Natalie Houth, and I'm on the Black Ink Committee. And if Susan happens to pop back on, I'll head out. And so welcome to this session on self-publishing presented by Kindle Direct Publishing, which is one of the partners of Black Ink. We're super grateful for them being sponsors. And we're going to hear all about how to be self-published. So I'm going to introduce Tricia Gallagher with KDP and let you have the stage.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having us. We are thrilled to be able to support this initiative. All right, I'm going to turn off my camera and share my screen. So give me just a second. There we go. And get everything sorted. So today is all about self-publishing using Kindle Direct Publishing. We're going to talk about a variety of topics today, but hopefully by the end of our session, you'll have at least one action item to help you with the self-publishing process. We're going to start with a short walkthrough of the KDP website. We're going to talk about tools to help you format your book and set pricing, discuss some keywords and metadata best practices, and end with some merchandising options. As you heard, I'm Tricia, and I'm a member of the KDP University team. We're the ones who create all the videos, step-by-step guides, and webinars that are offered on the KDP help pages. And you can find all of our content under the KDP University link on the KDP help pages. And we'll talk at the end where to find that. So let's start with a little bit of information about KDP. With Kindle Direct Publishing, also known as KDP, you can publish in 44 languages that are spoken by over 3.5 billion people. And while the name is Kindle Direct Publishing, we've streamlined the print and ebook publishing process for authors. You can log in to one account and publish both your Kindle and print book. There's no upfront cost for you to do this either, for either the Kindle ebook or the paperback book. We try to offer everything you need to publish for free, as well as including free tools to help you create your cover and interior files. And that sometimes can be the hardest part of publishing. And it's also pretty speedy. Once you click publish, your book is live within a few days and often much quicker. If you have worldwide rights to your content, you can make it available to customers around the world. And you retain your publishing rights. We also offer competitive royalties. So to get started, go to kdp.amazon.com and create an account. And if you've got an Amazon account, you can use the same login information for your Amazon retail account and your KDP account. And once you've entered your banking and tax info, and we'll talk a little bit about how to do that in just a second, so we can pay you, you're ready to get started on publishing. And we're going to go through the highlights of this process real quick. So when you log into your account, you'll be on the main landing page, which we call your bookshelf. And from here, you can access all of your books and your account. So to start off with, you're going to need to set up your account. And you do that by clicking the Your Account name at the top of the page. For your security, when you click on the link, you'll be asked for additional verification. And once you complete your two-step verification, you'll have access to the My Account page. To set up your account, you'll need to enter your mailing address, your banking information, and your tax information. This information is required to begin selling your books on Amazon. And KDP uses this information to know where to send your royalty payments and your end-of-the-year tax documents. The contact information setup may vary based on your country of residence. And as a best practice, the name on your account must match what you're entering for your tax interview so that there's no delay with your end-of-the-year tax forms. After the contact information is setting up how you get paid. The available options in your banking details are going to be dependent on the country of residence that you entered in the account contact information. And choosing direct deposit, also known as electronic funds transfer or EFT, as your payment method allows you to receive your earned royalties without a minimum threshold before the funds are released to you. And this happens in a more secure and environmentally friendly way than with paper checks. And it happens in your local currency. Finally, there's the tax dashboard. Here you can take your tax interview, elect to go paperless for your end-of-the-year tax forms, and access your end-of-the-year tax documents if you're eligible. This section is important because U.S. tax regulations require Amazon to collect information about your tax status under U.S. law. And the tax interview helps you submit your tax information during the account setup for KDP. Once you've set up your account, you're ready to publish your books. You can publish ebooks and paperback books from your bookshelf by clicking either the Kindle ebook or paperback link.
Myself. There we go. Okay.
Everything okay? All right. So once you've set up your account and you're ready to publish your books, you can publish ebooks and paperback books from your bookshelf by clicking either the Kindle ebook or the paperback link under the Create a New Title header on your bookshelf. Now, if you're publishing both an ebook and a paperback version of your book, start by setting up one version first by clicking either of those links. This will take you to the book setup page. Now, both the ebook and the paperback setup have 3 tabs: book details, the book content, and the book pricing. The Details tab contains your title, author, and book description, also known as your metadata, and other information that will display on your book's Amazon detail page once the book is published. The Content tab is where you'll upload your cover or create your cover using Cover Creator, and then upload your interior file. When you're publishing your paperback book, this is where you can elect to use one of KDP's free ISBNs or enter your ISBN that you purchased from your country's official ISBN body. In the US, that's Bowker, B-O-W-K-E-R. And the free KDP ISBN has a generic imprint, and it's going to show independently published in the publisher field on your Amazon detail page. The Pricing tab is where you'll select your royalty structure for ebooks, your marketplaces and book prices for both ebook and paperback book. And this is also where you can enroll your ebook in KDP Select or your paperback in expanded distribution. And once you've completely filled out the fields on each of these tabs, you'll need to click the Publish button at the bottom of this tab to submit your book for publication. Once you've set up one version, go to your bookshelf, click on the link by the title, and this will allow you to set up your other version. This time-saving step will auto-populate some of the fields like title and author so that the books are set up with matching details. This step is important to ensure that your book displays correctly on Amazon. Now that you've clicked Publish, you probably want to see how your books are selling. And we want to make it easy for you to understand what you're earning and gain insights into how your marketing efforts tie into sales. To help with that, we have some relatively new reports, which you can click on from the Reports page in your KDP account. These reports are mobile optimized so that you can view them easily from your phone. You can change the data visualized either as a line graph or as a bar chart. And you can select multiple books at one time to display on the screen and compare their sales. We also recently launched this new dashboard view, which gives you a more at-a-glance visibility. On the dashboard, you can see your sales, pages read, and estimated royalties for today, your top earning books for the day, and the source of your estimated royalties for the current month. So you can sort them by format, which is ebook, paperback, or Kindle Unlimited, or by marketplace. We also have the royalty estimator from KDP, the beta. And the royalty estimator lets you see how your earnings are trending for the current month, estimate your monthly royalties in a single currency, and estimate your monthly royalties from Kindle Unlimited. And this happens before the KDP Select Global Fund is announced for that month. So as we mentioned at the beginning, sometimes there are some hurdles that you have to overcome when self-publishing. So in order to do that, KDP has several free tools that you can use to help self-publish your titles. The first one is Kindle Create. Kindle Create is a tool that will help you format your manuscript to work with the KDP service. We have Kindle Create for text-heavy books with simple layouts. So example for novels or essays or memoirs. And you can format both the one file that can be used for ebook and paperback. So no more having to format an ebook separately from your paperback book. You can format them in one file and then use that one file to upload for both ebook and paperback. Kindle Create, as I said, is a free program that you can download to help format your files. But there are some limitations. This is a relatively new tool, so there are some limitations with the tool. So this is good for text-heavy books, but it may not be the right thing for books with tables, footnotes, endnotes. And it has some difficulty with images. So sometimes blank spaces are left at the bottom of a page if the image that you want to insert doesn't fit on the page. It may move it to the next page. But if you have a text-heavy book, like a novel, this is a great option. So if you think Kindle Create is a tool for you, you can download and install the program, choose the type of book that you're creating and the language of your content. So right now, the tool supports 12 different languages. And then you upload your Word file, easily navigate to your document, add themes to design your book. And once you click that Publish button, the software creates one file that you can upload for both ebook and paperback books. The other formatting that sometimes people struggle with self-publishing are covers. So if you don't have a cover for your book, you can use KDP's Cover Creator to make one. And you can use either an image that you provide, or we have a selection of images in our galley, and they're stock images that you can use. As we mentioned in the site tour, the Cover Creator is part of the book setup. And you can customize your cover with a variety of layouts and font options. Now, once you have all of your pieces together, you have your interior files uploaded, you have your cover created or uploaded, you'll want to see what it looks like. So both the ebook and the paperback book content page allows you to preview your book before publishing. The ebook previewer shows what your book will look like on multiple devices. So you can either look at it as just like a tablet, like we have shown here, but there's also a button where you can see what it looks like on a cell phone. The paperback previewer checks your file for any issues that might cause problems during our on-demand print process. Now, if you're not familiar with the on-demand print process means that when somebody purchases your book on Amazon, your book is printed at that moment. So there's no stock sitting around. There's no pre-purchasing stock. You can just upload your file and then have people can buy it on demand off of Amazon. So because of that, we want to make sure that the file that you upload works well with our system. And this previewer is going to find any issues that might cause you problems during that process. It's going to give you alerts if your images are low resolution or if your content is outside the safe zone. Yellow alerts mean that you can still publish your book, but it may not have the highest print quality. But red alerts mean that the issue is going to keep the book from being manufactured and has to be fixed in the native file. Paperback files can't be published until they're approved in the previewer tool. And then once the paperback file is approved in the previewer tool, you are able to order a physical proof to make sure that it looks the way you want before publication. So next to formatting, finding the right categories and keywords is the next challenge I think that a lot of authors face. So we're going to talk through some tips that can help you identify keywords and categories that may work for you on Amazon. So choosing the right categories can be challenging since books today are not just one thing. So if you have a steamy sci-fi romance with alien shifters, but it's not put in the correct category, nobody's going to be able to find it. And as you may know, on Amazon, when you're setting up your title, you're picking what we call BISAC categories. These are not the same thing as Amazon categories. That's because the BISAC categories, along with your keywords, are used to place your book in the categories, in the Amazon categories, where your readers are most likely to look. So how do you select a category for something that obviously crosses so many genres, like our example? You want to look for the BISACs that are specific, meaning you want to drill down to the lowest category that works for your book. The more specific you can get, the more accurate the Amazon categories are going to be. For my example, I'm going to start with fiction, science fiction, alien contact, and then I'm going to choose fiction, romance, romantic comedy. The system is going to combine the BISAC categories that I just selected with the keywords, and I'm going to talk more about keywords in just a moment. And then with that information, it's going to place me in multiple Amazon categories where my target reader will find it. So I have a couple call outs with regard to adding your categories. You don't want to keep adding categories or changing categories. Actually, making those changes frequently may cause your book to become less discoverable. One more call out about my chosen BISACs. By choosing alien contact and romantic comedy and sci-fi and romance, Amazon knows that my book belongs in all of these categories. Essentially, I'm getting placed in more Amazon categories than just the 2 BISACs that I chose. And yes, it is true that you can add more categories by contacting KDP. Again, be specific in your choices and make sure that they're relevant. And then know that you might not be placed in your chosen categories if your keywords don't align with your choices. So how can you find Amazon categories to work for your book? There's several ways to do this. The first one is to search for a book that's similar to yours. On the left side of the Amazon search page, a book's categories are displayed. This book has 3 chosen categories, but if it had additional categories, it would show more than just 3. It also separates the categories by format, since the different formats are going to have different categories. So if you're contacting KDP to add additional categories, make sure that you're indicating if a category is a paperback category or an ebook category. And if you click on the search categories, you can drill down even farther to find subcategories. The subcategories are the ones that you want to identify, because more than likely, depending on your BISAC and keywords, your books are probably already going to be in those higher categories. You can also look at books in the Amazon charts to discover which categories are working for them. Once you identify a book, look at the book's detail page, and in the product details, it's going to show you the ranking in the Amazon bestsellers rank. And it's also going to show you those categories that are working for them. So if you have a book that you think is very similar to the book that you're writing, you can go into the Amazon find that book, scroll down to the middle of the page, and see which categories are working for them. All right, as we mentioned, the thing that goes along with categories are your keywords. So let's talk about keywords. I've got some basic best practices with regards to keywords that I'm going to share. But before we get started, we want to keep in mind that keywords should be generic words that readers use to find your content. You never want to put inaccurate, misleading, or you never want to put somebody else's book title or another author name in your keywords. To start with, you don't want to include punctuation or stop words. Punctuations, things like commas, periods, semicolons, colons, they're totally unnecessary. And the same is true for stop words. So a, also, and. They're unnecessary. They're going to get stripped out. They don't help searchability. And more importantly, they waste precious characters. We're going to talk more about characters in just a moment. The other thing you don't want to do is repeat words that are already in your title or subtitle. Your subtitle and title, the words that are in your title and subtitle, are already taken into consideration when people search for your book or similar books. By repeating those words, it's totally unnecessary, and you're going to lose the opportunity to add other words. The other thing is, don't use temporary or subjective words. So things like available now or brand new or amazing, best. Most of the time, these words are just going to be ignored, since if you think about it, most readers are not going to use them when they're searching for your content. And at worst, they're going to impact your search results. And finally, this is what we were talking about. The character limit is 50 characters per field with a total of 210 total bytes. So what does that mean? A byte is normally one alphanumeric character. And if you go over this 210 byte limit, the system's going to ignore your keywords. So that's why it was really important earlier when we were talking about the punctuation or the stop words. We definitely don't want to include those because those are going to force us to go over this 210 byte limit. So some things you do want to include when you're talking about keywords. You want to include synonyms and spelling variations. So things like sherbet that has multiple, or theater, both with multiple spellings. You want to include all the spellings, but you don't want to do misspellings. So spelling corrections are going to be offered to the reader, but multiple spellings, those are not. The other thing is your keywords should be specific to your book and should not contain other author names or book titles. So what should be included are search words that a reader is going to use together to find your book. So if your book takes place in a specific location, you may want to include it. So for example, Charleston Lowcountry and Charleston Coastal Islands. Now, if your book includes a specific device, you may also want to include that. Things like Southern home cooking or soul food. These terms will be combined for search results. So for example, Charleston Low Country and Coastal Islands can be combined into Charleston Low Country, Coastal Islands, Charleston Coastal Islands, etc. You want to enter the words in a logical order. So think about how people are going to enter them when they search for them. So Charleston Coastal Islands, not Coastal Islands Charleston, right? Because that would be Coastal Islands, Charleston. Remember, you have the option of adding 50 characters, but all of your characters together should not add up to more than 201 bytes. And when you run out of keywords, because we often do, right? So you've got all these brainstorms, you've got some great keywords in there, and then you kind of run out of keywords. This is when you want to look at your reviews. Your readers are probably going to supply you with the words that they use to describe your book. And if you don't have reviews yet, you can check out a similar author and see how their readers describe their book. Again, these keywords will work together with your chosen BISAC categories, and all of them together help increase your book's discoverability. All right, so finally, we're going to talk a little bit about merchandising. So how do you get the word out there about your books? So today, what I'm going to focus on is some of the lesser known or sometimes overlooked merchandising opportunities that are available through KDP. So the first one is Amazon Author Central. If you've ever been to Amazon and you find your favorite author or you find your favorite book, their author name is going to have a link. And if you click on that, it's going to take you to their author page. And this is where customers find an author's full catalog on Amazon. And a robust and compelling author page increases customer engagement. So to set up your author page, make sure you go to Amazon Author Central, create a full author page with a biography, photos or videos, and your blog feed. Claim all of your books. Encourage readers to sign up to follow your author page so that they get notified when you release new book content. And the author pages are not limited to people who just publish on KDP. So if you publish somewhere else, you can still claim your author's page. So definitely want to do that. This is probably one of the number one underutilized features on Amazon Author Central is the fact that you can create separate author bios for your author page and your title pages. So many authors miss engaging more readers by having unique author bio for each of their titles and then adding a unique fact on the title page bio. And both of these together create more than one way to drive reader interest. The next thing, and by the way, Amazon Author Central is free, as well as what we're just about to talk about, which is instant book previews. So most authors are aware that readers can look inside their book from their book's detail page. But were you also aware that Kindle Instant Previews can be embedded on a website or shared as a link via email, text, or on any of your other favorite apps? So anyone can start reading the preview for free by clicking on the link. The Kindle Instant Preview provides free content to keep traffic on your site, free access to a sample of your book. They can adjust font sizes for the reader comfort. There's a direct link to purchase your book on Amazon, and a download link to get the free Kindle Reader app. The Kindle Instant Book Preview and the Look Inside feature show the same content, and it's created within 10 days of the publish date. However, the way the content is rendered in the Kindle Instant Book Preview varies slightly due to differences in technology. So Kindle Instant Previews can be embedded on the web or shared as a link via email, text, and from your other favorite apps. And anyone can start reading the preview for free just by clicking on the link. Kindle also has another way for authors and readers to share happiness with their Kindle quotes. So this is currently only available for the Kindle iOS app and allows anyone to turn their favorite quotes into images to share on social media. So this is an example of one of our designs featuring a Mark Twain quote. The feature is super easy to use. So if you're within the iOS app, you just highlight the quote that you want to share, click the share icon, and then from there you can choose a background and a font for the image. Then you can click the share button and choose where you'd like to share the quote. This feature is a great free marketing tool. Your readers can share their favorite quotes from your books, and you can do the same. So brand new is you can now publish and update your ebook and paperback series detail pages automatically through KDP. With the launch of series in KDP, you can create a new series for any of the titles in your KDP account, create an ordered and unordered series to help readers. You can visualize and organize your series, so you can navigate from a series title on your bookshelf to view and manage books in your series. You can review series details and titles to ensure that the information is up to date for all your readers. You can also edit an existing series to control how it appears to readers. So you can adjust the description, you can add, remove, reorder, and change whether your titles are main or related content. And there's no more waiting for your new series titles to auto-link. You can totally do it yourself. And if you have a shared series and need to make updates, you can reach out to customer service to help you. And once again, KDP has listened to author feedback and is happy to announce that you can now nominate your book for inclusion in Kindle deals and promotions. Kindle deals are limited time discount deals offered on ebooks, and they last from one day up to multiple weeks. Customers will see both the regular price and the promotional price on the ebook's detail page. Books are enrolled in Kindle deals and may be eligible for feature placement in the Kindle store or additional email and marketing. And while the nomination program is in beta, you will receive royalties on the discounted price for every sale during the deal that's according to your selected royalty plan. Prime Reading is also an optional promotion program that allows authors to get their titles in front of Amazon's most engaged readers. Prime Reading members also unlimited reading from Prime Reading members enjoy unlimited reading from a rotating section of books, magazines, comics, and more. And this happens on any device at no additional cost. So to be eligible for Prime Reading, a title must be an ebook, enrolled in KDP Select, available for purchase in at least one marketplace where the primary language matches the language of the title, and it can't be adult content. So to nominate your title for either Kindle Deals or Prime Reading, you'll want to go to your bookshelf, find the marketing page, and then under Nominate for Promotions, choose the promotion you want to nominate. After you nominate a title, that title will automatically be nominated again at the end of the 90-day nomination period. And if you want to select a different title, you can uncheck the checkbox under the Manage Nomination and nominate it to a new title. So, some things to keep in mind if you are nominating your title for one of these promotions is that Kindle Deals and Prime Reading are available in multiple countries. So not just Amazon.com, but also Amazon Canada, Amazon UK, Germany, Spain, France, Italy, India, Brazil, Japan, and Australia. So if your book is translated into multiple languages, you can take advantage of all of these countries. All right, so before we start answering questions, I want to talk a little bit about some of the resources that we have. We covered a lot of information today, so we want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information. One of the best places to get information is by checking the KDP community page. You'll see right here that says recent announcements. This is where you're going to check for any new releases, changes, or important information. This is also where you're going to find the KDP Select Fund. I know we didn't talk a lot about KDP Select, but you can definitely find more information on our help pages. The last thing I want to talk about is you've heard me talk a little bit about KDP University. And KDP University is on our help pages. So if you go to kdp.amazon.com, in the upper right, you'll see a little help link. If you click that, you can look for KDP University. And KDP University contains links to live author interviews and informative webinars. We do live webinars every week. On Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we do live how-to webinars. And then on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we interview multiple authors. We also have videos, step-by-step guides, and so much more. All right. So I'm going to turn my camera. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to turn my camera back on. And I think there might be some questions coming in. And I do see one question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a question about what's the biggest difference between 30% and 70% royalties? And that's really great. So 30%, so the royalty structure for ebooks, you can either choose a 30% royalty or you can choose a 70% royalty. And the biggest difference between the two has everything to do with the size of your file and also how you want to price your book. So books in the 70% royalty have to be priced between $2.99 and I believe it's $9.99. I'm going to have to check on that one to be sure. But you can check our help pages to find out for sure. And so that between those prices, and it has to be a bit of a smaller book. If it's a really large file, it may not work with the 70% royalty. For the 30% royalty structure, this is great for textbooks or image-heavy books or larger files, or books that you want to price below that $2.99. So if you want to do 99 cents for your book, this would be the appropriate pricing structure. If you want more information or to see a flow chart on how to best choose which pricing structure works for your book, on our help pages, we talked about KDP University. So if you go to KDP University, you're looking for KDP Jumpstart. And within KDP Jumpstart is a step-by-step guide that helps you to publish using KDP. And there are, that's where you would be able to find of the flow chart that's going to help you ask questions that make sure that you choose the right royalty structure for you.
So Tricia, we have a couple of questions that are coming in through the feed that I want to just read to you for your consideration. First question is, how secure is this portal when uploading content regarding firewalls and encryption? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So Amazon is very, very conscious of your, securing your data. We want to make sure that your data is secure. So I can't tell you the exact firewalls and encryption and things like that, one, because I don't know that information. But what I can tell you is how strongly we prioritize the safety of your files, as safety of your information, because we recognize you are trusting us with a lot of important information. Just setting up your account, right? Your name, your banking details. So this is really secure. This is something we take a lot of pride in, making sure that we are taking care of your data that you're trusting us with.
Okay. So there are a couple of questions about ISBN numbers, so I'm going to try to combine them. One is, what is the advantage of getting your own ISBN number versus using the KDP's number? And if you do use the free KDP, does that mean that Amazon owns it?
So a couple things. Let's start with why would you purchase your own ISBN number? The reason that most people do is that they want to put, as the publisher in the publisher field on Amazon, they want their imprint to be their business name, right? Or the company that they're functioning under as the publisher. That's not unusual. A lot of authors like to do that. Like I mentioned, if you use the free ISBN, it's a generic imprint. So it's not specialized to you or your publishing company or your company. So I think that's the biggest difference between why people want to do that. The other thing is exactly what the question, can you take that ISBN with you to publish somewhere else? And the answer is no. That free KDP ISBN is just that. It needs to be used on the KDP site. The one thing I will call out is ISBNs are required for paperback books. You don't need an ISBN for your ebook. And I think that's a question we get a lot of.
For any print book, you need an ISBN number.
Yes, print books.
A question about, sort of a generalized question about copyright.
Yes.
So can you just touch on that briefly about sort of how Amazon KDP manages the author's copyright?
Right. So the one thing I would say, if you need more information about copyright or you want to copyright your book, you would go to copyright.gov. So as an author, when you publish a book, you own, as long as you own the copyright and you haven't sold it, and it's unique to you, then you can publish using KDP. The thing is, if you want additional security, you would need to copyright your book through copyright.gov.
Great. Okay. And since we have a lot of authors here who maybe have used KDP in the past, I just want to circle back to something that you had mentioned about doing author interviews and how you select authors to be interviewed on your platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think what we're talking about is the KDP University at Home series. And this is a fun series that we launched in 2020. I think with all of us, we were looking for great virtual opportunities to connect with the authors in our community. And one of the ways that we do that is KDP University at Home. So every Thursday, except when I'm on vacation, which is next week, we interview authors. And the way that we select authors, we're always looking for individuals with a really unique and wonderful story, a unique voice, definitely looking for diverse authors who write in multiple genres or different genres. So if you're interested or you want to be a part of that, you are welcome to reach out through the Contact Us button and indicate that you're interested and would like to be considered, and we'll go through. So we do different topics, and those will be coming out and being announced in the upcoming months.
Sounds great. Okay. Let's see. We have one more question that's pertains to whether or not KDP deals with sub-publishers. The question is, if I wanted to create a base book, i.e. the nitty-gritty of sewing, a dress, if you want to offer that base to others to publish under his or her submissions, how does that work? Can they manage all of those under a single contract?
So I think that one of the, if I'm understanding the question correctly, is I'm trying to, so if you're looking for, so sometimes we do have publishers that use the KDP platform. But as far as, sorry, I'm looking at the question because I want to get my answer right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm understanding this correctly. So.
Well, maybe that's something that our questioner could visit you tomorrow when you're having office hours and
good call out.
Yeah. So
and talk directly to it.
Exactly. Okay, so I think, Tricia, thank you. This has been fantastic. I think we've all learned a lot here. And for anybody sort of who wants to review this, we are going to be posting it back onto our YouTube channel. So if you wanted to go back and review it at any time at your leisure, you're welcome to do that. I also want to point out again, thank you to Kindle Direct Publishing for being a sponsor, a partner sponsor of Black Ink again this year. They've provided some great sponsorship for us over the last few years, so thank you. And then finally, Tricia will be holding office hours tomorrow, Friday, from 10 to noon. So please visit the KDP booth in the arena, and Tricia will be there to answer any questions, anything that you've had a chance to mull over between now and tomorrow at 10. So Tricia, thank you so much, and we're going to take a brief pause and come back with some more programming in a little bit. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.